there. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Deborah Perlman. This is Entrepreneurial Oomph Podcast. You can hear us on YouTube, on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spotify, and I think Podchaser, and I don't know, there's a couple other ones. At any rate, we're here today with a great guest, Judith Papo, who I haven't actually spoken to or seen in several years. However, she is one of those women who is entrepreneurial. And when I did meet with her, we had B&I together
Yeah.
a long time ago. This is pre-COVID.
Oh, yeah.
I think everybody dates everything like that, like what's pre-COVID and what's
Hmm.
after COVID. This is pre-COVID. We were together in a BNI chapter in the Hudson Valley. It was one of the largest ones in that area, and I am so fortunate and blessed and thankful that she agreed to be a guest and come on and share her expertise and her wisdom with us. So, with no further ado, I'm going to let Judith tell you where she is, who she is, and the company name that she runs, facilitates, and is the owner of. So, Judith, take it away.
Well, thanks, Deborah. Shout out to the round table. We had our
Yes.
drive for 55, and I think we made it. Anywho, we started. My husband, my father-in-law, and I started what became Legal Shred back in 2008. We started with one truck. We had our eyes on being the shredding service, data destruction in the Hudson Valley. And since then, we now have 15 plus trucks. We service New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, parts of Massachusetts, and we have offices in West Haven, Connecticut, Deer Park, Long Island. We also have an office in Wappingers, and we have added, so Legal Shred, we still are the choice for data destruction, data security, paper shredding, hard drive shredding, all of that. But we also do medical waste. That is our sister company, MedX Waste. And we do box storage. We do have a building that is designated for box storage. So we're out there, we're competing. We go head to head with Iron Mountain. We go head to head with Stericycle. And what makes us better though is that relationship, because you and I both know that we are in business and it's about the relationships. It's about building connections. It's about providing a service that is responsive. Uh, we answer our phones, we answer our emails,
Okay.
and we are active out there, and it matters to us. Your business
Yep.
matters to us, and that's what's really been rewarding about this whole thing.
All right. So thank you for sharing all of that because the growth has been exponential
Oh
since
yeah.
the last time we spoke. When we talked, you were just stepping into the role and the company was called Shred It, right? Am I remembering?
No, we started it. It was called Hudson Valley Shred.
Oh, it was Hudson Valley. That's right.
And then we became Legal Shred when we entered into the metro area,
Got it.
because we couldn't, it wouldn't resonate. It doesn't mean anything to our clients out in Long Island. I mean, they know what the Hudson Valley is, but why would they use a podunk, uh, farmer market, upstate company. So we changed it from HV Shred, Hudson Valley Shred, to Legal Shred, and we have grown exponentially since then.
That was a
And
great marketing decision and a brand
yeah, right. I
branding.
mean, we do still have a very touchy feely customer service. That is still very core. It's part of our core values, but we are the largest independent shredding service,
Okay.
certainly
So,
in the metro area.
all right. So I want to take this. Thank you for sharing all of that. And I'm really very happy for you guys and very
Thank you.
impressed. Very impressed. So a lot has changed and grown and expanded since the last time that we've been able to really talk. So I want to talk a little bit more about you. How's that?
Okay,
You
sure.
ready? Now, so just for the listeners and the viewers out there, I just want you to know that I did tell Judith that this is a free-flowing conversation and we never know what's going to come up. And I did ask her if there was anything that was off the table, and she said no. She's coming from a place of curiosity and openness, which I really appreciate. So I want to go back to when you first stepped into that role of HV Shred, right? That you were working with, it was your husband and your father-in-law, so you are the only woman in the
Oh
organization?
yeah.
Okay. So what was that like?
Well, and it's a very male dominated industry as well. So, you know, you just gotta do what women do, even in women. Um, you just gotta stand tall, and you gotta not be shy about it, and hold your ground. Oh, but always, I think leadership always requires being a good listener too, and having uh, a lot of listening, and the same things that make a business grow for a woman make a business grow for a man. We just have to probably work twice as hard to get the respect. But I'll tell you, being a woman in this industry in some ways has been a real advantage, because you can really, there's this, it feels like a softer sell, I think. And, when it comes to trust, and feeling more like it's a relationship and not a transaction. I think women are better at that. And
Yep, I would agree.
that's been something that uh, I've just been myself. Like that's who I am. I'm
Yeah,
not just
so okay,
I'm
so
not just a woman. I'm 4'10". I've had to,
I'm glad you said
going
that.
back
I
to the
was going to
days
say
of being at the deli counter and having to be like, yeah, I am here. So it's just another situation where I had to be like, I am here, and I don't take your crap. Show me
that.
respect. I'll show you respect, and let's get her done.
I so appreciate you saying that. So a couple of things, I just want to go back because you said a whole bunch of stuff in there and it
Ah,
was all great. And I don't want anybody to miss those nuggets. So first of all, for those of you who missed what she just said, how tall are you?
I'm 4'10".
Okay, so Judith is 4'10". And so people who are of a shorter stature sometimes feel like you need to work three times as hard to be seen, let alone be a female at that stature, right? Now she's in an industry that's male dominated. And I know from being with male, uh, well, I'm going to say highly testosterized males, that sometimes you really have to, it brings out the assertiveness, not the aggressiveness, although there's times when you're tempted to be totally aggressive. Men, they thrive on adrenaline. Women, that's not how we thrive. We thrive in oxytocin. So you said being in rapport, be authentic, being in alignment with who you truly are and staying there and then holding your ground and saying what you need to say and knowing how it needs to be said to be heard. Good for you. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
And I think there's also a sense that it's stereotypical for women to apologize, and to not want to be too loud or be in the way. And I don't really have that problem. If I have something to say, I'm going to say it. But I think the fact that I say things with heart, and I don't have hostility. I just have a real passion for what I do, and I think that comes through. And in some ways, it is an advantage. Again, I say, because when a little person can make a big presence, that you can pleasantly surprise people, and then they remember you more. If I was more of a stereotypical, boardroom, even woman, I think it's easier to become invisible. But when you're a little person, but you know your stuff, you get attention, and it's memorable.
Yeah. Good for you.
So it works the way you got to take what you got and work it to your
Absolutely.
advantage.
Yep.
Oh, the little
Absolutely.
person. It's like, oh, did you meet?
No.
Oh no, I love that. What
Well,
what what makes you stick? This is what makes me sticky. I'm little, but I know what I'm talking about.
got it.
and
Okay,
I
so all
care.
right, so that's interesting. So some people would get insulted. So I have, so just so there's
It's
some
hard
view.
to insult me, I think.
What?
I think it's really hard to insult me. Give it a try.
Well, that's good for
Give it a
you.
try.
That's good for you. That's good to know, and that's good to hear. So that's good. So you're in a situation now where now the company is, you have 23 trucks, did you say?
Well, probably between the two companies, yeah.
Okay. And now you're in the is it, you're not getting involved with medical waste, you're just talking about medical records, correct?
No, we do medical waste, yeah. Hazardous waste, chemo
Wow.
waste,
Okay.
syringes, gauze, uh, expired pharmaceuticals. Oh yeah, the whole thing.
Okay, so I want to go a little bit back again. You're working with its family. So you've got your
Well,
husband.
we are family. We're each family. So it's me and Jeff, my husband, and
Okay.
then brothers, but they're not our brothers.
Okay.
Sean and Jason Fredericks are we share kind of a childhood. They Jeff and I went to Arlington High School in Dutchess County, and they went to Carmel in Putnam County. So we were introduced by Ryan Fole because of that's another thing that I find if anyone is an entrepreneur, you got to get out and you got to be in the chamber and you got to be
Gotta do
in a
stuff.
networking organization. And I would even recommend a civic organization just because it feels good. So Ryan Fole is our Kevin Bacon, and Ryan introduced me to Sean, and then at first we were just doing a lot of collaboration. Sean already had a company in Long Island, and then Jeff and I had the company in Dutchess County, and we were doing some cross referral at first, and then it came time. It's relationship. Who you never know.
You never
That's why you
know.
just got to keep on making relationships and keep in touch with people. And we became partners. So we started in 2008, and then we became partners with Sean and Jason in 2013.
Nice. So what's it like working with your husband?
It's great. It's great because until we had our dog, this was like our children. It's something that we've been growing together. We have a really great relationship between all four of us. So Jason and I are more like the tap the brakes people, the risk averse people, and Jason and Sean and Jeff are the uh, oh no, like let's add this service, let's go into this service area, let's go after this client, and and also I'm more of a relationship builder. I like to be I'm I'm the basically the face of the company in a lot of ways. Whereas Sean is really happy to be behind the scenes and doing a lot of our behind the scenes operations, and Jeff does a lot of our truck maintenance. We're able to keep our trucks on the road because Jeff, who is a licensed pharmacist, is now a wizard with all things mechanical, and then he also manages all of our properties, and then Jason is great at operations too. So we have a lot of overlapping skills, but we all have our lane where we are most comfortable. So
Okay.
it works out well.
So I'm going to go back to this question again. I'm going to ask it
Uh
a little bit differently, okay? Because I want to know, what is it like after a day of work to go home with your husband and not take the work home with you? How do you guys
Well,
balance?
we don't work together. He's an operations person and I'm a relationship person. So I'm client facing, and he faces trucks and buildings.
Okay, so you never talk about business over
Oh
dinner.
no, we do. We
That's
do. I mean,
okay.
it's no, it's usually pretty exciting because
Okay.
we talk about how we're growing and what ideas we have. There certainly are frustrations, but it's nice because he understands what we share our frustrations. We it's like anything that we talk about. You have to know when it's okay to talk about it. I think we're together for over 30 years. We're married 27, and I think over especially, and whose relationship didn't go to another level during COVID, when you're kind of stuck together. And I think that's something that we've both really worked on, is just how to communicate in ways that are comfortable for each other. And sometimes, if he doesn't want to talk about something, we don't talk about it. If I don't want to talk about it, and we just respect those boundaries. So
That's very healthy.
I
That's,
think,
that's very healthy.
yeah, I
Good for
think
you.
we've managed that pretty well.
Good for you. So, okay, so talking about work-life balance is one thing, and then I'm kind of curious, so how many employees do you have now?
That fluctuates a little bit because of, we've had to overstaff because I don't know. Do you have employees? You don't have to have employees, right?
No, well, I do,
Yeah.
but
God
they're
bless you.
contracted. They're
Employees
not,
are very, very hard,
yeah.
especially since COVID, because the expectations of the reliability, and what it's tough. I mean, certainly, I would tell anyone who's out there that probably, if you ask me what the hardest thing is about being in business, it's about finding good people and keeping good people, and knowing the right number of people to have on the team.
How do you
Because
figure that out? How do you know how many people? What's the,
well,
yeah,
we have and Sean. That's Sean's thing. He has equations. He
here's a
knows how
question.
many people make sense for the call volume that we have, for the service area that we are attempting to cover. We've gone through, con- uh, additions and contractions, and you try to find the sweet spot. It's not a perfect science.
No, it's not. And you're never going to have it perfectly perfect. Sheila and I
And
once said,
I'm sorry, I interrupted
I
you.
was no. It's funny because well, you said you listened to Sheila. So Sheila Pearl was another guest, and we I've always used the term "it's perfectly imperfect." I'm perfectly imperfect. The system is perfectly imperfect because nothing. And I don't. And I think people, human beings, if you strive to be perfect, you're going to be striving in that mode forever. And it's so much nicer to be at ease and just know that things work out the way they're supposed to. And if we have to change, we change. If we have to pivot, we pivot. So when it comes to the hiring, if you have a really good idea of the type of person and the skill set that is needed for the specific position that you're looking to fill, it probably your chances are being, less imperfectly perfect, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, so the equations are good. And then, so are you involved at all with the team, or are you really the marketing, I'm going out to get new client acquisition person?
Yeah. So that is something really fortunate, and talk about boundaries and communication. When Sean and I and Jason, when we became partners, we had this very thorough discussion of what our roles, what we wanted, what we were comfortable in our roles. And I was very happy to let him do all the hiring and all the firing, and just let me be the ambassador for all of our Hudson Valley clients, and then to help build out our service areas largely based on my relationships in the Hudson Valley. So thanks to my relationship with, and I've been very, going back to being active, I've been very active in the CPA Society, both the Mid Hudson chapter and the Westchester chapter, because I am a CPA. And so being active in those capacities, in those roles, has helped me take my Hudson Valley clients and leverage that into, we've gotten some really big accounts in Manhattan because of, I'm going to name names. Ida
Yes, okay.
really helped us get into some, because she was, Ida, the first female president of our state society, and that was really awesome. And I celebrate that. And she's just an awesome person, and she helped us build into, because of her relationships on that board, being our of the state society, which met which still meets in Manhattan. Um, that was really very rewarding to, not that I don't actually have a relationship with those firms in Manhattan, but you get that door to open,
Yeah, she
and it's,
absolutely made those connections for you.
yeah.
So
Oh
wait,
yeah,
I
we
want to go
did.
back to something.
And
Wait, you
that was
skipped
no joke.
over.
That wasn't like a here's my list of references. Thank you very much. It was like, here's our list of references, and they get checked
That's
because it
awesome.
matters, because this is security. Like,
Yep,
shredding is a security business.
yep.
Law firms, accounting firms, they can't joke around with this stuff. And they put us through the tests, and we passed, and that was probably almost 10 years ago, and we're still doing it, and we're still
That,
growing. And
that's great. Wait, I want to go back. Hold on.
I'm
Because
all
you,
over the place.
because you, yeah, no, it's okay. So you mentioned something that you kind of like whoop, went right over it, and I didn't know this about you. So are you still carrying an active CPA? Like
Oh yeah.
what was that whole thing there?
So yeah,
You never mentioned that at BNI. I never heard that.
oh well, I have a colored uh, career path. I initially, as I graduated with an English degree from Binghamton University. I got a master's in education. I taught high school English for several years.
Who knew?
And then I burnt myself out on that. I was not willing to be perfectly imperfect when I was in my 20s. And so I let it all get to me, and, talk about what you can come home to. Jeff has always been my biggest cheerleader, my biggest supporter. And he said, "This is killing you. Regroup." So I went
Good
back
for
for
him.
accounting, because he's always been entrepreneurial. And so we kind of game planned, and it made sense for me to go back for accounting.
Nice.
And since then, and we've opened, I don't know, like 4 or 5 businesses. He had 2 pharmacies. He's sold both of those so far. And now we have the shredding, and we have the medical waste. And, who knows what we'll do, what else we'll do. But, I think I did very interested in what Eric was talking about, Eric Egelin from Capacity Consulting, where, you get really good at what you're doing. So we were very comfortable with the shredding. And then it was like, okay, well, how do we compete though? And that's when we added the medical waste, because our biggest competitor, was Shred, and they now had a relationship with Stericycle, and Stericycle acquired Shred. Now we need to really compete with that. And so we added the medical waste. And of course, we also go up against Iron Mountain. So we added the box storage, and, we've scaled.
That's fantastic. So you pivot, you scale, you take a step.
And
So
now
great.
our really, we see the future growth, the biggest future growth of our business is, guess, medical waste. Because, and COVID accelerated it, but it's still not, it's still growing. Our shredding business is still growing, even though a lot of people were already going paperless, and then COVID really got rid of a lot of paper. But it's not gone. But if anyone here sees a sunset on medical waste, I don't share that sunset with you. It's just going to keep growing. It becomes, it's a very complicated, there's dozens and dozens of jurisdictions, even within the same localities. There's state laws there. So that's part of what we're really working on with the medical waste, is compliance and helping our clients. There are so many questions, and education is something that not a lot of our competitors take personally, take seriously. And really, all of our lives are at stake from doing this right. Like, we do not want medical waste being
No.
commingled with our regular waste. So
No,
it matters.
so I worked years ago. I was the regional sales director for a uniform and textile company.
Oh, sure.
Going back. And they did not want to get involved with that whole area that you're talking about with the nurses linen, with the linens and all of that, because they had to have set up what I forgot what they're called, clean rooms, right?
Oh, sure.
They would have had to set up clean rooms. It was a multi-billion-dollar investment they were talking about because they needed to do it nationally, right? So they were talking about, and then it's compliance, and then you get inspected because things have to, you have to show that, and you get surprise inspections. So with the medical waste, I don't, can you just give us a little bit of a picture, like what's involved with that on the back end of it? What do you guys have to do? The regulations and all that.
Well, we bring it to an incinerator, um,
Okay.
but the in New York State, um, it's still actually on the generator of the medical waste to follow all the rules. But we take it seriously. We do teach our clients the how to properly package their red bags. So it's probably too involved for this conversation.
That's okay.
But
So I just, yeah, so I'll just,
if people do have medical waste or they're not
yeah.
sure if they have medical waste, and this is for commercials. So they don't think they're a lot of companies don't think they are subject to like tattoo parlors. That's medical waste. If you are using needles in a commercial transaction, that's medical waste. But your needles, let's say you're diabetic and you're using those needles at home, you I can't pick that up from you because our license is for commercial medical waste. You can transport it. I can't transport it.
That's interesting.
But a tattoo parlor can't transport legally in New York State. They cannot transport their needles. They don't. Some of them don't understand that, and they do. But
So
I'm
what
not
about
the
the
police.
doctors who
I'm
do
not the
like
police.
the
I'm not coming after them.
wait, what about the doctors who do that? What is that? That Botox that people put in their
Sure. Oh yeah. Oh, that's for real. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's interesting. So it's the opposite. So in the linen industry and in the textile industry, the onus is really on the launderer. I mean, the hospital has a certain, and the doctor's offices have a certain onus and due diligence that they have to do to make sure that everything gets into the proper bags. And then the rest of it is up to um, the company, the linen company, right?
Yeah, but we
So,
do have to have. I mean, and here's an interesting fact, and these things are all in play, I'm sure, because of legislations obviously can change at the drop of a dime. But there are not all states and not all jurisdictions have laws around medical waste. They have laws, but they don't license the transporters. So for instance, we are now Legal Shred is a corporation. We don't franchise that, but medical waste we have franchised. So we now have franchisees in Saratoga, upstate New York, the Chicago area of Illinois, Minnesota, Tucson, Arizona, Dallas, Texas, um, Raleigh, Durham, um, and then also the Boston area. Interestingly, Massachusetts does not require a license for transporting medical waste.
that's interesting.
Yeah, you would think a blue state, but so this is what we do. We teach people. Our franchisees get a lot of kind of what you do, the business coaching, but we also, we provide a buying group and marketing and all that. So for me, that's been really, really exciting because that's where I really get to do my, I can help you grow your business and it benefits me too. Because a lot of what I do just for fun, believe it or not, it's fun for me. I've been helping. My best friend started her own business, Hudson Valley Bucket List. Shout out Becky Barone. She started her business when her daughter was born, so that's almost 10 years ago. And I just offer a lot of. We work together on that, and it's just been really rewarding to help other people with their businesses, people that I love. And now my sister Sharon Dove is starting her own firm down in Charlotte, North Carolina, so I'm able to
Nice.
provide her with some advice
So
and some
you've
experience.
really grown personally. So
Oh yeah.
so over all the years from when I knew you initially to today, what do you think has been the most challenging thing that you've overcome and learned from?
Being perfectly imperfect.
Yeah.
I have a journal that I started writing, I think during COVID, but I should have done it sooner. Life is a daring adventure. Be open to whatever comes with kindness and compassion. And those are the words I live by every day. And I do know that, back in the day, I feel very good about who I was, through this whole process when I was in BNI, and I'm still very a big cheerleader of BNI. I still go back to a lot of those relationships
Good.
all the time. Still use a lot of those businesses and lean on a lot of those connections and leverage those in a lot of different ways. And I'm reciprocating, I believe. Um, but I was better than I was when I was teaching, but I was still too serious, too hard on myself, and not open enough. Like I said, this being open and being curious, like instead of just, I don't know, digging in my heels and feeling frustrated, get curious about it. Like, okay, where's the way through? And I think that just comes with age and being open to it, I guess, and letting other people lead the way, being open to learning and growing. And, God bless Sheila Pearl, showing us the way, 83 and still going.
Yeah.
Um, and, knowing, I was reading a little bit also about on your website or on your LinkedIn about what's your why. And I know my why. My why is my family, my relationships, and whatever makes it so that I can work those things, and I've in wonderful ways been able to make my business work for my family. Whether it's helping with networking or, my parents are always like, okay, who should I use for this? Who should I use for that? And other people, it's probably part of you too. It's just, it's baked in. It's in my fabric
Yeah.
that I want to connect people. And, because I've been able to connect a lot of people with shredding and now medical waste, I am in a position to also connect them with all kinds of other things because you just keep on adding to the Rolodex, but in really meaningful ways and really, I mean, some of the people that you've met in BNI are very, just part of our extended family.
Yeah.
And that never goes away.
No,
Even if
it
we don't
doesn't.
see each other, it
No,
never
we
goes
still
away.
support each other. I still talk to quite a few of the group, actually.
Yeah,
It's
me too.
nice to hear that. So you're being really authentic, and I just want to acknowledge that. And I really appreciate you being vulnerable here. This is really, important for other people to hear too, because the part about being curious, I think is, I wish I had been more curious. I was on a very focused, purposeful path, and I thought that it was the path. And I learned very quickly that, you can have, what's that saying? You can have plans, but God laughs,
Hmm.
things change. And through the growth and the learning and the expansion as we mature, we realize that, life is not to be taken so seriously, and that there's the opportunity for the connection and the relationships is really the I think it's such a blessing, and it's like sweet. It's the sweetness of life. And I think even as entrepreneurs, and we're going about our business, and yes, we're focused and we're purposeful, and we have a mission and we have a business plan and we have the marketing and we're doing all of that, and we are intertwining the love that we have for ourselves, our family, and just wanting to be in service to others and have that connection. I think being able to combine that and intertwine it, I think that is the gift of being mature and seasoned. And I wish that someone had been able to say that to me, that and I in a way that I would have heard it when I was, late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah, I hear, and what Sheila Curl talked about with the life partner, and my life partner has been Jeff, and I can't tell you how many times he's helped me through those turn the corner and crack the window, and the door slams and you crack a window, and
Yeah.
it's just it's infinite what we can accomplish when we do let people in and live in service.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful, beautiful takeaway. So I'm going to ask you, just because I want to ask, if there was one thing that you would really want to say or share to viewers and listeners, one takeaway, what would it be?
I'm going to go back to my life is a daring adventure and be open to whatever comes with kindness and compassion,
Yeah,
and have a life partner to be by your side through it all.
yeah, yeah. You were given a real blessing. So good for you. And thank you so much for being so vulnerable and transparent and sharing about everything. I mean, you're a successful, strategic, aligned, purposeful, passionate
Yes, get good
businesswoman.
partners.
Yeah, good partners are important. Absolutely, 100%. 100%, I agree with that. So if anyone is listening and they would like to get in touch with you, what's the best contact way for you?
Probably go on our website, legalshred.com, medicswaste.com. We have it's a whole library of information, and it'll have our phone numbers and all of our emails, and give us a shout. We're here to answer questions for you too. We really do believe in education, and education is what will convince you whether or not you do need our service. Maybe you don't, but give us a shout so
If
that.
you're a tattoo parlor owner, you better call Judith. That's
Yeah,
all.
don't. It's for your own safety.
That was
And you're
one of my takeaway. It wasn't the best takeaway. There was plenty of other beautiful nuggets in there, but Botox and tattoo parlors, call her.
Yeah.
Don't, yeah.
If you see blood,
Yeah, that's it. If you draw blood, you see blood, has to do anything with that.
yeah, you need us.
I think that's a really good way to promote and market your business. I think you need to come up with a tagline like that. If you see blood, call
Yeah.
us. So thank you so much for being you and for showing up. And I so appreciate you. And really, it's such a pleasure to reconnect after such a long time. So thank you for
Thank you.
accepting the
It's been
invitation.
fun.
I really appreciate you. Yeah, thank you, Judith.
And follow Deborah. She's got a lot of
Thank you.
nuggets.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Gotta love, gotta love, gotta love, gotta love.